Hey everyone, welcome to a new YouTube video. In today's video, I'll be comparing and contrasting two microphones that I've been using. The first microphone is called the Amplitech k688 by Fifine, and the second microphone is the Shure sm7b. Not only am I going to be comparing and contrasting the audio quality for these two microphones, but I'll also be comparing the microphone's cost and specs. All right, and I'm going to tell you what my personal opinion on the end of the day, essentially the price. So let's go ahead and get started. The first audio that you're listening to is the Shure sm7b, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some snapping sounds that you can kind of hear the different distances around the microphone. I'm also going to be stepping away from the microphone where you can kind of hear what I'm saying. And we're going to do this test on both microphones so that we can kind of listen in and hear the differences. So first we're listening to the Shure sm7b microphone. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take one step back, and let's go ahead and listen to my speech. Okay, guys, so this is one step back from the microphone. I'm not sure how well you can kind of hear me. But I believe the sm7b broadcast microphone is considered a podcast microphone, so you do have to be pretty up close to the microphone so you can hear kind of the difference between me stepping back and me up close. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to snap around the microphone. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be snapping in the front of the microphone. Okay, you guys heard that, so I'll do that again. Okay, you can kind of hear that, and then I'll be snapping in the back of the microphone. Not sure how much you can hear that, if you heard anything at all. All right, so that was the SM7B. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause my computer. I'm going to replace the different microphones, make the new connection, and then we're going to listen to the audio quality on the Amplitech microphone. All right, so let me go ahead and get started with that. Testing. Okay, guys, welcome to the video. You can clearly see that I'm connected now to the new Amplitech. Well, not new, but it's a different microphone here. It is referred to as the Amplitech k688 microphone, and you could actually listen to it. Let me go ahead and see if I can switch up some settings on the microphone here where I can listen to myself. Let's see here. Okay, let me turn both knobs. It seems like it's turned up all the way. So yeah, okay, so you're clearly listening to me on the microphone. Now, to be clear, the microphone is on an arm. Okay, it's on a stand, it's on a boom stand, and I can move the microphone further away from me, and I can move it closer to me. Okay, so you can kind of hear the difference here. And I'm going to be moving some wires around. I'm moving the microphone here. You know, this is me tapping on the microphone, and you could hear the microphone quality sounds pretty good. You know, there's not really something I can complain about. Now, I'm going to keep the rest of the video on the cheaper microphone, which is this one, in terms of the audio. So from this point on, you're listening to me with the cheaper audio. And the reason why I'm doing that is just so you can get a feel and the difference between a $400 microphone and a $70 microphone. All right. Now, to be clear, these two microphones are similar in design. Okay. They look very, very similar. They're about the same size. And they're definitely not similar pricing. Okay, so if you're thinking that you need to get a more expensive microphone, I don't necessarily think so. I think this can do the job very, very well. Now, let's go ahead and talk about where you can get the microphone. So there's a lot of different websites you can get it. I'll leave a link in the description to the cheapest price at the moment where you can get it. I've done research because there's maybe 7 or 8 websites that can handle it. The cheapest pricing, but just in case if one is competing with the other, because what I tend to see is there's two websites here that are competing with each other in terms of price, I'm just going to leave the cheapest links in the description box down below with the different options. Not just this microphone, but the other. I don't have a certain dog in this fight. So I don't own Fifine, the company. I don't own Shure 7B. I don't have a dog in this fight. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I think. It matters what you think. And you're going to be listening to both audios here. Some may say that this microphone is a little more smooth. It takes out the harsh sounds of whether it be the breathing, or if something's moving in the background, or something's being touched or clapped or anything like that. So like if I'm touching, for example, the boom stand, I'm touching it right now. I don't know if you could tell the difference, but you probably can't hear it. And that's what makes it a little bit more smooth. I can tell you for sure that the Shure sm7b, it picks up a lot more. Some might say that it creates a cleaner sound environment, but you really have to value your studio. You have to look at your studio. If your studio is, it doesn't have that many, soundproofing and things like that, then honestly, I think the cheaper microphone is going to be the way to go. If you have the more expensive podcast studio, or maybe you're recording videos on a more expensive system, you have your podcast equipment, you have your what is it called, it's the things that absorb the sound. It's those black things that you see in a studio. If you have a setup like that, I would probably go with the more expensive one. If it's really like not decked out, it's just like a regular room, I would say go with the cheaper one, because it definitely takes out a lot of that, noise, pretty much that background noise. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I like both mics. Okay, let's now talk about the different features that they have. So the Shure mic, I can very, very clearly mute the mic. Like there's a mute button, all that kind of stuff. The Fifine also has the same thing. Okay, they both have XLRs cables. The Fifine mic has a cable that I believe it's the USB-C, something like that. Basically, USB-C to USB, so I can plug in the microphone to the computer without having to worry about any XLR or any kind of extra equipment or anything like that. So that makes the experience a lot easier for me. I hate dealing with the XLR. I hate having a lot of wires on my desk, a lot of different devices. I just like a clean desk, me personally. So I'm not saying that Shure is bad. Shure is phenomenal mic. You heard the quality. It's very strong, very deep, very clear, right? And this one is just as good. I think this one is a little softer in the sound, and it's a little maybe less deep. It's a little bit less vibrant, I guess you could say. But in terms of clean sound, you're definitely going to get that. You're not going to get any kind of buzzing issues or any kind of issues in general. If you breathe too heavy, and let me go ahead and try to do that here. You know what I mean? It's clean. It's not like you're hearing, my peas pop too loud. You're not hearing my breathing too loud. You're not hearing a lot of different things. So does this mic do the job? I would say yes. Now, is the Shure great? It's great. It's a great microphone. You can plug in headphones or earphones or earbuds, whatever you want to call them, to each of these microphones, so you can hear yourself in real time, using the microphone. Now let's go ahead and have a discussion for a YouTube channel, a first-time blogger, because I don't know if you guys know, this YouTube channel is all about teaching people how to create your first niche site, your first blog, your site that's going to produce you some income. And frankly, there are people that like to use YouTube to help them drive more traffic to their website and their blog posts. And it works very well. So if you're going to be a YouTuber and you're on a budget, I'd recommend the cheaper microphone. And of course, obviously, that depends on your studio. I'm assuming if you're in your bedroom, maybe there's a lot of, or not a lot of soundproofing in there, then you probably, like I said, would want to go with the cheaper microphone as opposed to the more expensive, okay? The $400 microphone, which is the Shure microphone, is a phenomenal microphone, but a beginner YouTuber who's trying to build some traffic to their site is not going to need something $400 worth. Like I said, if I just wanted to hawk and get a good commission off this, I would sit here and say, yeah, I got the $400 one. But I'd be lying if I did. The cheaper microphone is definitely phenomenal, and it does a great job. So I would say here, if you're listening to this and you want to start a blog, maybe you have a blog already, you're interested in creating some YouTube videos, the Shure mic is great, but it might be a little bit pricey for you, and the cost does not outweigh the benefit, right? Or excuse me, the benefit does not outweigh the cost. So being that you're gonna have to pay maybe almost four times, probably a little bit more than more than four times, maybe like 4.2 times more for the Shure mic as opposed to the Fifine mic. I would say the quality is not four times better. I mean, you could hear the difference in the quality. Some may even say that the cheaper microphone has better quality. You'll probably have to let me know about that and make your decision on that. But I think overall that I gave you guys some good volume. You could listen to the differences behind the two. And now we're going to kind of do the little test here. So let's do the test that I did earlier. So let's take one step away. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but I'm one step away from the microphone, and here I am approaching. All right, so you can kind of hear me again. So now I'm back in front of the microphone. Let's go ahead and do the snapping test. So I'm going to snap in front of the microphone. Okay, so that was me snapping in front of the microphone. Now let me go ahead and snap behind the microphone. Okay, so hopefully you guys heard that. So that's kind of how things sound. So if you're looking for a microphone, my recommendation is, well, first look at your studio, your room. Is it a basic room? Is there a lot of soundproofing? If the answer is yes, and you put in tons and thousands of dollars into the soundproofing, into the setup, go with the Shure. You're only spending a few $100s more. You're going to get a better, maybe a 10% better quality, okay? Look at your room. If it's not soundproofed, if it's not amazingly, invested money into it, your studio, and then I would say go with the cheaper microphone. The cheaper microphone, like I said, is maybe about 90% as good as the more expensive one, but it's 3 to 4 times, or more than 4 times less, or 3 times less, whatever the number is, than the more expensive one. That would be my opinion. Also, if you're a first-time blogger, you're creating a website for the first time, you're trying to make that money on YouTube, and you're trying to send some traffic from YouTube to your blog site, I'd probably know your demographic. Like, you're just starting, you're getting started, you probably don't have that much cash laying around. Maybe you have a little bit of cash. Maybe you just want to save up. But you're trying to figure out how to get that traffic on the low-cost end. I would say this microphone, the cheaper one, is a phenomenal option. Like I said, I have both. I use both. It just depends on your situation. Am I saying that this microphone is bad? No. Am I saying the Shure microphone is bad? No. Am I saying that this microphone is cheap? No, it's not cheap. It's actually built very, very well. I actually said this before, but both microphones are about the same size. It's made out of metal. The microphone that you're listening to, the cheaper one, is made out of metal. So is the Shure, okay? The only thing I would say it does not come with, which is the cheaper one, is the boom stand, the arm, whatever you want to call it. I bought a high-quality one. I bought one that cost about $55, something like that. Maybe a little more. I don't remember the exact price. I'll leave the link in the description to it as well for my boom stand. But yeah, it's pretty good. Both microphones have this, like, I could say, I would call it a mesh sponge kind of thing. Maybe they call that a windscreen. I'm not sure. But both come with one on the mic normally. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. There's not really much to it. This mic is more than good enough. I would give this a 9 out of 10. The microphone, the cheaper one, the Fifine Amplitank 688, I would give this one a 9 out of 10. I would give the Shure microphone also a 9 out of 10. You might be saying, well, why didn't you give it a 10 out of 10? Just because of the cost. The cost is obviously a barrier to entry. It's a $400 microphone. So both are phenomenal. Both are great. And I'm telling you, if you get one of these microphones, you're not going to be going wrong either way. But money does dictate things, and we live in a real world. So I definitely recommend go with the cheaper one if you're on a budget, if you want to get started ASAP. If money's not a problem, go with the more expensive one. All right? Either way, you're not doing yourself wrong. You're doing a really, really good job. And you guys are listening to the audio with the Fifine. So thank you guys for watching. This is the Amplitank k688 versus the Shure sm7b. All right? I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and have a tremendous day. And by the way, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I will leave the links where you can get these microphones at the cheapest cost in the description box down below. See you soon. Peace out. Bye.